people who have signed NDAs that have now expired or for whatever reason are no longer valid. What couldn't you tell us but now can? House Hunters guest checking in. I never made the show because I didn't close on the house. 1. I had to have a house under contract before going on the show. 2. They would select the other houses we were interested in. 3. I was assigned another show who was more interesting than my actual show. That someone was making a wristwatch with 2 faces so you could set one to local time and one to the time you're from. For international travelers. My boss almost immediately broke it and had to pay. I was a model for a few big name / well-known makeup companies. I did several print ads for magazines and a few television commercials. The makeup artists do use the product advertised, but minimally. Like that mascara they're touting? It's over really good fake eyelashes, and they also used another brand of mascara along with the one they're trying to sell you. Also, the clothes in the ads you see are pinned to high heaven on the model. They fit nothing like they look. It's not you. It's not your body. It's fake advertising. Most of us models look just like you wearing that crap without all the pins and tucks and double-sided tape. Did some work on the trading floor at Goldman Sachs. I had access to all trading accounts and transactions. Came across some shady-looking accounts which did not meet policy. It did not use clearly identifiable name and I could not find records of creation or testing for it, etc. I asked my supervisor if I should look into this. He turned to me and said, "We don't ask about those accounts, just ignore them." Orders from the top. Trading account creation is a long and detailed process that requires formal approval from multiple lines of management. These accounts circumvented all that and were basically anonymous with no trace. They were also trading high volume. And I was told to accept and ignore them. One of my friend's brothers was on the MTV showroom Raiders. Everything in the show is staged. All of the items that they would find were planted. At the end of the show, the prize was not a date with the girl that he picked, he just got her phone number. So who planted the semen they were always finding with their black light? Saw the new Ferrari hybrid tech by employee error and couldn't speak or mention it until today as they launched a new hybrid model. I can now tell you that Ferrari intends to have a car with 3 hybrid motors, and that's pretty much it. Amazon made me sign one when I worked with a company that painted their airplanes before the public knew they had them. I did the FAA paperwork. I was literally only one of like 7 people to see their airplane fully purple with their logo on it. I was actually taken off of the project for a day because they thought I lied about not having a Facebook. They meant business. Apple 100% replaced the iPhone 4 for users because of a shoddy antenna. We were instructed to dodge, deflect, and deny this was the issue. Cell phone providers were shad. The phone was a fluke. It didn't matter. Don't admit fault. But if they were there for reception, vs water damage, buttons, or battery life, You had to make sure you were swapping them with the newer batch iPhone 4 swaps rather than the typical batch swaps. It was a recall without being a recall. But only if you had reception issues. Son of a ditch, I knew it. Posted this before, if it sounds familiar. Not me, but a guy I know was on Cash Cab. A lot of it was faked. He was told he would be on a travel food show and would get picked up by a fake taxi at a certain location at a certain time. There were camera crews all over outside the taxi, and there's no way on earth you might mistake it for a real cab. I worked for a native casino. The golf courses lost a ton of money for us, as did the advertising for the courses. Food we generally broke even on because of all the comps. If a crime was committed by a dealer, they would watch the dealer for 3 months to see if there were accomplices. They used facial recognition and would pair match you, so if the same person sat with the same dealer over and over, they would know. This way they could look for accomplices. Then when they busted you, they would sit you down and make you watch a video of you breaking the law. They did this because they wanted you to plead guilty as opposed to an expensive trial. I had to sign an NDA because I was part of a test screening for The Dark Tower with Idris Elba. Tried to tell them it sucked. They didn't want to listen. So what was the point of having that test screening, to have people gas them up about their shoddy movie, and not hear the truth? LMAO. We used an extract to flavor our peanut butter porter. God, it feels good to get that off my chest. Signed an NDA when I worked as a fit model for Katy Perry's shoe line. Basically, a fit model is used for their good proportions to test out the fit of garments. I'm a solid size 7.5, so hooray for being average. I was hired on 2 occasions and got to hang out and give her my opinion on the fit, feeling, and comfort of different shoes. Didn't think she'd actually be there, but both times she was present and totally running the show. Super nice woman in person and remembered me when we met again. Also, she apologized for making me wait so long, which I thought was nice. It was a late night meeting as she just wrapped shooting a music video. Her dog is really cute too, and I got to save it when it got stuck behind a wall panel. Worked for a short time as a QA tester at EA, and wasn't allowed to talk about the game I was testing, the console port for The Sims 4. There wasn't really much to talk about, but since the first few versions were basically just running the PC version on a console, there were a lot of bugs with it. One of the worst was a lighting bug we started referring to as disco mode, since it caused a bunch of multicolored squares to show up on everything at night or in dark areas. In 1990, I signed an NDA at Chili's when they showed me how to make their new Awesome Blossom. No other restaurant in town had anything like it, and it was hugely popular at the time. Worked at a matchmaking company. It's all bullshit, it's just throwing darts at a wall until something sticks. There's no science or magic to it all. Edit. I didn't work for an internet matching company, so they may have a different process. What we did was get a paid client and set him up on dates, The dates we found were from a pool of women and we would just keep picking one after another. I quit because I felt like the women were just being used, and I became uncomfortable profiting off of people's hopes. They very much play up on finding you true love and it's a process, blah blah. They'll very much play up the fairy tale romance. It did change me. I don't really date anymore because I don't trust the true intentions of people anymore. I became very jaded to dating after all of that. I thought you meant a company that makes literal matches and was confused, figured that recipe would have been locked down long ago. Sony got hacked over that North Korea movie because of a 5-year-old account they didn't delete or monitor from an ex-employee. I was a translator, contractor, for the US military. I also translated Marvel comic books. Marvel had tighter security. This does not surprise me. I've worked in aerospace on military contracts most of my professional career. The most restrictive NDA I've had to sign was for a candy bagging machine for a candy company. Google doesn't hire direct support employees, they open small projects in the US, hire up to 250 contract employees of varying support positions for the project. Once they get the stats needed to run everything efficiently, they have mass layoffs and outsource their jobs to a country, Philippines/India, that's willing to accept much less than their US counterpart. At the same time, Google rakes in a huge tax cut because they're creating jobs in the local communities. Edit. Yes, this includes YouTube and YouTube content review. I was actually an actor in that commercial that said I wasn't. They aren't paid actors 'cause we're not paying them. A huge part of The Bachelorette was scripted. The company I worked for at the time was a major tourism service provider and featured prominently in one of the seasons. We were all pulled into meetings with the higher-up managers, given a spiel about what was in our best interest, and spilling any secrets was punishable by a $5 million lawsuit. Please sign here. I gave zero ducks about the show at the time. Still don't. Just wanted to do my job. The Bachelorette herself was clearly there to further her public profile or acting career. The scenes were always set up before filming. Behind the camera nothing was happening. The cast were told where to go, what to do and how to do it. If half those guys weren't on their phones texting their real girlfriends most of the time, I would be surprised. So fake, so 100% fake. Had to sign a NDA for a secure shipment that came into a building I ran security at. Shipment came in at 2 a.m. unmarked transit van. 2 guys had to verify their biometrics and give me the correct password, then was required to deactivate the cameras on the floors along the travel routes they took inside the building and wipe the footage of them entering and leaving. Long play videotapes so easy to oops tape got chewed. They unpacked a set of vases and trundled off to put them in a private vault. Don't know what the duck was in them, but I've seen less security for pallets of precious metal bullion. You could get free satellite TV without any hacking or hardware mods. Call up your Dish or DirecTV phone line, add everything you want to get. Wait until it all appears on your account and you can watch it. Then, unplug all the hardware in your system and give them a call back, saying it wasn't you, or you changed your mind, or you only had it for visiting family or whatever. Take it back down to the bare minimum or turn it off completely. Wait at least 24 hours, preferably a good 2 or 3 days. Then, plug your shit back in and continue to enjoy everything. This has been known to work for years for a lot of people. Satellite TV is one-way communication, so the only way they update your programming authorizations is to send a signal to your specific hardware. Sending satellite signals for single customers is expensive, so they don't keep doing it. When your system gets the update to turn on all the channels, it sticks until you make a change. All you have to do is skip that downgrade signal. Thank you for watching Robot Radio. If you enjoyed and would like to watch more handpicked content, like and subscribe. Have a great day.